bit what I had to learn. Now, if you're trying to do your own post promotion on Google Plus, you need to think vertical, up and down. Social networks like Google Plus and Pinterest, they need tall images to gain attention and recognition. Now, the best thing that you can do is the 600 by 900 pixels. Those have worked very well for me. Usually, on any particular post, I'd say an average, I'll probably get, yes, go ahead.
Does this work for Facebook and Twitter as well?
It doesn't work for Twitter, but there is a tool that you can use for Google Plus that will post. Well, it's a cross poster. It's called Friends Plus Me. I'm not for sure of the website address. I think it's fplus.me, but you can Google it and check it out. It's a free tool that you can use. It does send every time you post something to Google Plus, whatever image that you use on Google Plus, it will post it to Twitter and Facebook, or Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook and LinkedIn. If you want to post to all three networks or more networks, you have to pay for it. So it does post to Google Plus and 2 others for free. And so that's something to think about, just cross-posting. But it does work very well for Pinterest, and Google Plus is a great platform to bridge Pinterest with. And I'm one of those guys that use Pinterest with Google Plus. If you check your goodie bag, I got something in there for you from PicMonkey that I use my images. I create my image. I'm not a Photoshop guy. I don't understand tech that much, so I can't do a lot of things on the internet. As far as CSS, I have to hire somebody to do that for me. But I understand how to create images through PicMonkey, and these things are very responsive on Google Plus and Pinterest. And I only could bring about 50. So if you didn't get a free gift, you can type in this address right here, www.picmonkey.com/ and it's hashtag promo and relationship. And that will give you a free month of Royale membership to their site. Now, this is a free tool as well. You can use the tool, but this will give you, it unlocks everything for you, so you can check it out. And everybody got that? Was people writing that down? Okay. All right. Now you've got your image set. You went to PicMonkey. You created your 600 by 900 image. I would recommend. A lot of people say, "Well, aren't you doing double work? After I write a post on my blog, I got to get an image for the blog, and then create another image for Google Plus. Aren't you doing double work?" So what I tell people to do is, the Google Plus image that you use, or the image that you use for your blog, use that image for Google Plus. So go ahead and go to PicMonkey, wherever you want to go, create the 600 by 900 image, make sure it's responsive, related to whatever you're going to talk about in your blog. Take that image. If you've got a WordPress site, it'll just scrunch it down to a smaller size on your blog, and then you can go ahead and use that same image when you get ready to promote on Google Plus. So you've got your image, and step 2, now you get to write in the description. And so on Google Plus, the very first thing you need to understand is the text prompts, the way you write things on Google Plus. There's actually a way to do things. In other words, how to see the way that I wrote this. There's nothing really stands out for the reader. So I've got my image, and perhaps this particular image got a lot of attention from Google Plus. 600 by 900 once you posted it on your stream, but I need to fix this. How do I make this text bold? And different parts of the description need to stand out. And in this, I'm going to show you how to write call to actions inside your Google Plus post. I can do 5. 5 is the recommended thing, with the image being your first call to action. And I know it's hard to remember everything for Google Plus. The first thing to do is, if you want to bold your text in the description, just surround the words you want bolded with the asterisk. Shift 8. And to italicize, surround the word with underscores. Underscore like this. Underscore, this text, underscore. So that would be italicized when I hit publish on Google+. And strike through, same thing. Just put the dash. I think I used two different ones. But you'll see what you missed. And also plus mentioning, very important strategy in the description. To add your friends or your followers, add the plus symbol before their name, and it's going to pop up as you type it. Now, if you have them circled, it's going to add them. If you don't, you have to keep typing before it'll add these. Now, I know it's still hard to remember all this. If you're new to Google+, you don't understand how to do the bolding or the italicize and different things. There's actually a Chrome extension called Post Editor that you can upload, and this just came out. I believe Tim remembers this. It's going to be a whole lot easier because it's going to have it's just like Word. It'll have the V for bold, the I for italicized, underscore, all that. You don't have to worry about doing any of this, the asterisk, everything. But the only bad thing about it is you have to copy and paste into your post. Any questions on just editing descriptions? And now it's time to create the actual description once you understand how to actually write it out. Now, the full description needs to be there. Google Plus is, for best results, I see a lot of people say, hey, check this out, link, don't. And I've done this myself a time or two when I first started on social media. Stop using check this out. Don't use check this out anymore on social media. That doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't tell people what the article is about. It doesn't make them interested in what you're going to write. So just from now on, just say, I promise to not use check this out anymore on social media. You got to remember, Google Plus is a microblogging platform, and these people respond to educational and informational ideas and thoughts and opinions and descriptions. And in the description, you can have any type of call to action that you want. This is yours. You can do whatever you want to with it. People respond to it. Yes, in the back.
Will you explain why, again, we are not to use, check this out, what benefit does it do not serve, to not do it, I don't even know the benefit of dismissing that from line.
Well, just for example, if you have a post and maybe you have 1,000 followers on Google+, and you're ready to put that post on Google+, so you use the link or the photo, whichever option you use, and you just say, check this out, and you publish. That doesn't, have you ever known anybody to go check this out? I really haven't. I haven't known that before. You might get a couple, but it's gonna be a whole lot better if you put a little thought into it. Tell people what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some really neat stuff that you can do in this description. Tell people what's going on in the article.
I think, you know what, I'm sorry, but that's really a distinctive characteristic of Google Plus, is that it's very conversational. It's kind of like Twitter XL, if you will. It allows you to tell the story of what you're sharing. So on Facebook, you can say, check this out, because it creates, because that's what people may be used to. But on Google Plus, people are used to sharing personalities. And why do you want me to see this? Is this something you did last week? Is this, sometimes it can be brief. Brevity is okay. But, we want to see a little personality on Google Plus. I want to know why you like this thing.
Yeah, and remember too, the more you write in this update, this is going to be on the internet forever. Because this is an individual post, an individual web page itself. So the more information you can give these people, the people that come a year from now, that find this post in the searches, they're going to come to your website just from that. And they're not going to come or respond if just check this out is in the description. So the very first part, there's two parts to this. 1A is the title, the opening statement, and a couple of CTAs, the call to actions. And so basically I just said, after the image draws them in, you want to say something that grabs their attention right away. Something I like doing is showing someone how they might be doing something wrong and how I can help them fix it or correct it. And you can use your first few call to actions right away to get the best results. This is what I did with this particular post. This is actually on my screen right now. I did this probably last week or so. You'll notice the asterisk. While you may be creating your circles wrong, asterisk, so I want this bold. And then I said, obtaining a large following is something we all desire on any platform. But it's definitely not in simply following large masses of people. If you happen to be like I was when I first started on Google+, then you may actually be circling people in the wrong way. So, first call to action, read the article, then my link, and pin it for later. That's powerful right there. This right here is going to get you a ton of engagement from Pinterest. Google Plusers love to pin it for later. They love that. Love it, love it, love it. Now, let me let you in on a secret. If you do this, 2 links in a description will not provide any SEO value whatsoever. Okay? I care less about SEO. I'll put 3 or 4. Go tweet this. Go do something. But if you only have your blog article in the description, you're going to get the SEO value. And those +1 to Google Plus tabs on your website, they're going to count. People +1 here, it's going to show up on your website. But anyway, this is powerful. You could do one of these, of the morning, and it's legal, it's allowed, and then wait later that evening and write the post again like this. So that way you can still get the same engagement. Anybody have any questions on that? Did I explain that all right?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the second one for?
Oh, sorry.
The later post is?
I'm sorry. What I did was I created this image for my blog post, and then I took the image that I created, put it on Google Plus, but I pinned it first on Pinterest. I went to my Pinterest Google Plus board, and I pinned this article first. Then I come to Google Plus and I wrote this out. And then I used my URL for the pin. So this right here, if you type this in, that'll take you to this link on Pinterest. You can go pin it for later. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Now that's the first half. Okay. There's still more to go. So the overview of step 1A, the bold title makes it stand out. Now here's a little social media psychology. I use this from Neil Schaefer. Use the 5 W's to grab people's attention. Who, what, when, where, and why. These generally let people know that you know something they don't. And one thing I've learned about social media is people hate to be left out. They hate not to know stuff. And if you tell them you know something or how you can help them do something, make money, grow a larger following on Google+, then usually that's going to pique someone's attention if your image is good enough to draw them in. These call to actions here that we're writing, they prompt users to go where you want them to go. Now, doing the website is a whole different speech that I do, but you have to understand what you want people to do on your site. I see a ton of sites that when people get to where you want them to go, they're just like, well, what do I do now? You don't have any call to actions in your website. You don't have any prompts or email lists, whatever. So don't be shy. People are afraid to tell other people what to do. I don't want to be forceful in my call to action. You don't have to be forceful. Just read the article, link, go pin it, and then give them a link. And make it easy for them. The easier you make this for people, the more likely it is that they're going to do this. And so, walk that horse right to the water. Push his head down if you got to. Pull his toe, you get what I'm saying. The easier you make it for people, the more they're going to do for you. This applies to everything, even your website. Okay. Let's go to the next one. All right, here's the second half of this description. We're still on the description. The closing statements, they're generally things that are in your article that are your opinions. The first part of the article is usually what the article is about, what it can help people do, what it can help people with. The closing statements, last half of this thing, is your opinions. And this is very important because Google Plus is the microblogging platform. People want to know your opinion. And there are a lot of people that like to argue on Google Plus. People have different opinions. But what I like about it is it's professional argument. And they respect each other. So people will respect your opinion, even though you might be wrong. And let me tell you, I've been wrong a time or two on Google Plus. And it's helped me, you know. It's helped me to learn. And so once you do your opinion, then the second thing you need to do is plus mention someone. Now you don't have to do, I'm not recommending that you do this every time, but when you plus mention someone in your article, there's a guy on Google Plus that I plus mentioned last name. His name's Jay Bear. Him and I, we talk a lot. So I'll plus mention. Well, there we go. So I'll plus mention him a time or two, and so what that does, it just helps people, see. It gives him more exposure, because once you, as you know, when you move your mouse over someone's name on the plus mention, it's gonna their hover card is going to pop up, and you're going to have the opportunity to follow them. But what I mean about this is put them in the description naturally. Just don't say ping Mark Trapagian, ping Tim Longwell, or Angel. You have to make it flow naturally, make it look naturally, and then finally use the last couple of call to actions to build up your own reach. The last one is for you. And this one's very powerful. I use this one a lot. And Tim knows that this works very good for me. So this is the last part of this. So this article will show you why the people around you will affect you in various ways. You are who your friends are, so choose carefully. I remember a conversation with plus mention Mark Trapagian about this very thing. We sat at great lunch together. Now, I plus mentioned this guy because he has over 100,000 followers, and he's a very good friend of mine. And so, also, this helps my reach. You know what I'm doing? So, if I plus mention him, he gets the notification, and he pluses my article, and he loves some of my stuff, so he'll reshare it to his people. So that's where the plus mentions come in handy. We sat at a great lunch together. Glad I've got it in my circles. So, here's a call to action. What is your opinion on circling or circle sharing for that matter? Now, one thing that I should have done and I didn't right here, this is not a strong enough call to action. What is your opinion? That's a very weak call to action. I should have done a comma. Let me know in the comment section. That's a more powerful call to action. I want your engagement. I want you to talk to me. I want you to go to the comments and let me know what your opinion is on circle sharing. I don't like circle sharing, but if you do, tell me why you like it. Why does it benefit you? Basically, stuff like that. I want to talk to you. Just like Cheryl said, this is an engaging platform. Now, this last one is for me and me alone. Nobody else. It doesn't affect anybody but me. I'm bolded this. So if you would like to be in my blog notification circles, let me know in the comments section, and you will get notified like this of more posts in the future. And this is very strong. This is like an email list on Google+. So people will if they like your article and it attracts them, you've spurned something, some kind of conversation, they will say, hey, add me to your blog notification circles. I usually get 30 or 40 a day, and it's, well, the reason you do this, I'll show you that in a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, that helps you reach. The overview of this step in the description is it's basically, personalization. You're giving people your own opinion. You're having your voice. You're letting people know what you think about things, and you bring something personal into the picture. And of course, as you know, plus mentioning other people is going to broaden your reach. Like I said, don't do it every time. only if it's pertinent to what you're doing. Don't, people get aggravated at you, plus mention them all the time. Also, asking people to voice their own opinion is very important. Has anybody ever heard of circle sharing on Google Plus? Okay, yes, Cheryl has. Uh-oh. I don't recommend circle sharing. That's one of the biggest arguments on Google Plus right now. I'm on the no side, and there's other people that are on the yes side. So people want to know what your opinion is, this last one, like I said, allow them to opt into a notification circle. It's going to help your reach in the future. Start that thing right away. Now, don't do the opt-in circle on every post. Like, say, if you come to my blog and you share it to Google Plus, don't say, hey, if you like this post, opt into my notification circle. That's really, it's not yours. So you wouldn't want somebody to think that you don't want to be misleading, in other words. Only on your stuff would you add the blog notification circle. And also, don't forget the hashtags. Now, if you forget, Google Plus has a nice feature that it'll automatically put hashtags in there for you. So, okay, now I'm done with this post. I'm ready to hit the share button. So as you'll know, up here is the description and the picture and everything, and down here at the bottom it shows everywhere you want this thing to go. So I plus mentioned Mark Track Pagan. So anybody you plus mention, you can plus mention 100 people. It'll just fill it up down here. Now, here is my created circle, that blog notification circle that I've got. Now, every time I post something of mine, I will click right here, and this blog notification circle will come up. I'll just click that, and this will populate into this area, and this does not come up until this does, or your inner circles. You know what I'm saying? And then you can click that button to send the email. So not only do they get a notification on Google Plus, but they also get an email in their email saying, hey, Wade Harman's post is ready for you on Google Plus. Now, do not send an email to people that have not asked you. Okay, that is the best way to get kicked off Google Plus and suspended. So I do the blog notification circle. It's a very good idea. However, you can't just go add 50, 100 people that haven't asked to do that. Also, notice this green public button will always populate if you are posting from your stream. Now, when I first came to Google Plus, I didn't know much about it. So I would post to my circles, and my first account actually got suspended because I was posting, to 400 or 500 people that every time I posted, everything I shared, everything I did was coming up into their notifications. And so people were saying, hey, you're spamming me. There's an option that you can use to, anybody can just report anybody else for spam. So that can be reported for spam if you misuse it, and that's a good way to get kicked. So yes, Tim.
One thing about that, notice how you got that blog notification, so make it what do you call it, subscriptions, people that share, whatever you name it, so it's a circle that it's certain people. These are people that want to know what you have to say. They want to know how you're going to help them next time. They're curious about you and your material, what you're presenting out there. So that is just like your sales client list that you have, or your sales contact list in Outlook, something like that. That circle, if you're promoting information and stuff out there, you want that special circle, whatever you call it, right away.
So you can put a title on that file, so to speak?
Yes, Google Plus actually, now that's more along the lines of circling on Google Plus, but when you can click on this add more people button and a little box will pop up. Now if you haven't created any circles, it'll automatically populate following, I forget, there's
Associates.
yeah, friends, family, different things. They'll already have those populated, but at the bottom of that it'll say create new circle. You just click that and then type in what you want.
And I would just caution everybody that the family one usually pops up first. So, and I didn't realize that in the beginning, so I was inviting random people to family events. So,
I remember that post that
that
said,
yeah.
if you don't have to bring a covered dish.
Yeah, hey guys. My family, in my family circle, you do not actually need to bring a dish to. Just make sure you check your circles every now and then.
Yeah, this is very tricky. I didn't understand this whole circle thing when I first got on. It got me suspended the first time. Be very careful. Yes, if too many people get your notifications, if you spam people, like if it's blue down here, go back and check yourself because you've done it wrong. Unless people have said, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to send this to me. Plus mentioning, I would not recommend plus mentioning until you get more of a visibility on Google Plus. Get to know people. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Does that cover everything? Anybody else have any questions on that? Okay, that's your own stuff. That's your own stuff. But don't forget everybody else's stuff too. This is what's going to help you on Google Plus. Don't just share out your own articles. There's more great content, just like Daniel was talking about yesterday, that you can curate. Everybody's heard the 80-20 rule. You share 80% of everybody else's stuff, 20% of your stuff. I say on Google Plus, it's 90-10. You will see me share my post one time a week. Well, it's twice, 80-10, but I'll share it that morning and then that evening. So 2 times in a week. Everything else is my friends, new people that I've just met, people that I want to promote, people that are in my niche, and I just want other people to see the article. This is very important. This is going to help you on Google Plus. It brings in more positive relationships. And that's what it's all about on Google Plus. People want to get to know each other on this platform. And this is the way you do it. If I circled 5 of you right now, and I said, hey, I want to get to know these people, I wouldn't just call you out of the blue and say, hey, Angel, come be in my service. I wouldn't say that. I would go to your site. Just like the social stalking they were talking about yesterday. Except it's the site study. Yeah, research. Okay, yeah, that's right, research. Hashtag research. Hashtag anyway, no, it's basically the same thing, but you would just go to their site, pick out an article that you like, and read the thing. Come on. Are you reading your articles you share? Read your articles. Read people's articles. I see too many times people are resharing stuff just out of the blue. They haven't even read it. That's your stream. These are your followers. There's 11,000 people that are counting on me to give them the best information that I possibly can on Google Plus. I don't take that lightly. Everything that I share has been read by me. And if I don't understand why they said what they said, I go check it. Or I contact that person. Say, hey, why did you write this? I'm fixing to share this. I want to make sure. This is not just some fly-by-night thing. Hey, boom, out of here. You got Google Plus is very important. All your social media, you should always read what you're going to share. And so that one was free. So if I share Angel today, and then next week I go share Angel, and I plus mention her when I share, hey, this is a great article by plus mention Angel, whatever her last name is, and I love this article because it really helped me to understand how to build a Pinterest pin and how to create and design. And I put little a little bit into it. And I do this consistently, and it's, guess what? Angel's going to start coming to my site.
It's already there.
It's awesome at it. No. But it's reciprocation, and it's never failed me yet. It's never failed me. I love building relationships this way. This is one of the best ways that I've had and can tell people to use to build relationships. There are other forms of posting on Google+, and this is also a great way to build relationships. Commenting. Just because you're on Google+ doesn't mean you have to crank out or curate content every day for your stream. There's other people's content that you can comment on. Don't just be active on your posts. Find somebody else. Angel, find somebody else that's in the design field on Google+. Go talk to them. Have a conversation with somebody. This is a conversing platform, and you need to use it that way. Don't just post and run your stuff or anybody else's stuff. Stick around and watch and see how that conversation is going to develop. And, also, Google has Hangouts, and I definitely recommend doing this. This will get you great exposure and visibility. Attend the Hangout. Talk to the Hangout hosts in the comments section. People are going to recognize you if you say something smart. Don't you feel good when you say something smart in front of a bunch of people? I have to go work on that one. I've already talked about this. Your posts, they reflect your personal strength, and it determines the type of follower that you have. If you're just posting pictures of anything, then anything will follow you. And I don't want anything to just follow me. I want people that are in my niche and in my, my targeted area, my marketing area. And so, treat your stream right. Respect the stream. Your followers are going to make you rich. They are. This is something I came up with the other day. There's my post on wadeharman.com/blog. You can actually read this post. It's react, respond to people, engage, attract, convert. And when they convert, you know that they trust you. And that's the big T word down there, is what you really want to get. The conversion help you. You want me to back it up, Adrian?
Yes, we're right.
Sorry. I got excited. So you respond to people. You give them a call to action in your post or somebody else's post. Say, hey, let me know what you think. They say, well, here's what I think. Don't just leave. Come back and respond to them. That gets the conversation started, so you engage with it. And when you engage, if you do that consistently, if I go to Angel's site consistently, I tracked her to my stream, and possibly she goes to my site, and said she was on there right now. Maybe she'll buy that ebook, or maybe she'll opt into something. And why would she do that? Is because she trusts me now, and it's consistency. Consistency builds trust. Consistency in a lot of things. Okay. The end result is more appeal, more attraction, more engagement on your post, more reach, more traffic, and more money. We're all here because we want to make money. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Everybody can say, oh, I'm just here to help people on social media. Well, I'm here to help people on social media too, but I'm here to get rich. What about you? I am. And you are too. You want to hit that pinnacle where you can just go to the Caribbean and let your blog run by itself. That's what you want. That's what I want. And this is the way you're going to do it. It's consistency. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. This posting strategy that I've done, I wouldn't recommend that you guys go out and start posting if you have a low follower count. I wouldn't recommend that you go out and start posting like this right away. I would recommend that you go out and curate content. Find other people that are in your niche and in your target market. Go read their posts and go share their stuff, because what you're doing is you're marketing yourself. You're marketing yourself on Google+, and when you do that, they notice you, and then they eventually respect you. is there any questions? Yes.
Okay, so I'm just trying to think in my head a way to kind of compare another social media and how you say curate your following first before you start doing a whole lot of posting. I just keep thinking, for me, it's most similar to Pinterest because on Pinterest, you find something that you really like your dream home board, and you create your board. And basically, you don't have to create any content. I mean, if you want to, you can, kind of like do some of my junk ladies. But you curate your following because you're picking stuff that somebody else is gonna like or already has liked. So initially, should a beginner like me, as far as Google Plus goes, follow the Pinterest trend, I guess you could say, and just continue to repost things that I like, and then create my following. And once I get to something that I'm comfortable with, then start maybe creating my own.
How many followers do you have?
On Google Plus?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then, okay, then I'll definitely treat it like Pinterest. Google Plus and Pinterest work perfect together. And as you can see, if you're looking at the design of the flow, it kind of looks like Pinterest too. So that's the best, recommendation I can give is just find things that are in your niche, you market, and reshare it. Now, the person that you really like, follow that person too. And then when you reshare the article, plus mention. Because if you don't and you don't have any followers, there's people that don't plus mention me that come on the site, they come on my blog. They don't plus mention me. And I don't see that in my Google Plus. So if you don't plus mention me, the only reason I do see it is if I go to my blog and check my comment, because I have a Google Plus commenting system. And so if you don't plus mention people, people want to say thank you. They want to say, hey, thanks for sharing my post. Here's something else you might enjoy, or something like that. And so don't forget the plus mention. Just remember it's the plus, and then start typing their name till it. Anybody else? Do I?
I said when you plus and do the first letter, it'll pop up a list, and the first one's as you type the letter, it'll narrow the focus down and you can find that person.
Yeah, you don't need a website to make money on Google Plus.
That's right.
That's right.
I know you talked about,
Ooh, I got some interest on that one.
Friends Plus Me will add to Google, Twitter, and Facebook. Is there a way you can, it will post on Google Plus and then automatically update to your blog?
No, you have to, Friends Plus Me, you have to connect your Google Plus account first, and then your other social media, either the Twitter or the Facebook or LinkedIn. You have to go into Friends Plus Me and actually physically connect that, and then you go to Google Plus. It works from Google Plus. That's the home network for Friends Plus Me. And once you post to Google Plus, it'll take the post and image and throw it on whichever one you want it to go on. Yep.
Okay, is it anything like YouTube? Because whenever I get on YouTube to research my specific area, then it can send me off on a rabbit trail. And I don't want to end up looking at something that's like, how did I get there? Does Google do that? Or you start looking for people and then it's like...
When you first start, you have to really be cautious of who, what are you looking to do? What are you looking, what's your market? What do you want? Find that person that's the authority in that market. Circle that person and look at his followers or her followers. Circle those people. That's a good way to start, because it helps regulate your stream, kind of, because it can get, at first it can get a little messy because you don't know who Sam Jones is and what he does and what he's going to post about. So, yeah. Yeah, okay.
So this is, I just wanted to pull up his Google Plus page just in case you hadn't already done so. But this was a beautiful photo that he posted from his hotel room last night. I saw that. And I mean, look at all the engagement from people outside of Tulsa who saw, is it not coming in? Who saw he was in Tulsa. So whatever story you're telling, right? I mean, we've probably talked about storytelling a little bit here in the last couple of days, but I mean, he does a really good job of I'm sorry, I'm just giving you more.
No, you're okay. That's right. But see, one thing about this post is these followers, I've connected with almost each and every person that's following me. They want to know where I'm at and what I'm doing. Some of them want me to take pictures of what I ate for breakfast. and they just like it. And so, look, notice there's no link in that description whatsoever. This is purely to get engagement and to talk to people. Let them know where I'm at, what I'm doing. If you want to follow me, you'll see pictures of my drive through the desert in a couple of days. I want to take pictures. I've never been through the desert. I've never been to California before. So I'm going to be taking pictures and letting people know, what's going on.
And if you have a Gmail account or you do anything on Google and you haven't experienced Google Plus, that little plus your name at the top where it says plus you, that's how you get started.
Yeah, now if you have a Gmail account, you have a Google Plus account, whether you know that. Okay, you got a question?
Yeah, I might have missed this at the beginning because I have two different pages. That's because I didn't know how to set it up initially. So one is under my name and the other one is under my business. So I don't know if you covered this, but like when you go to your page and it has like these numbers under it, what does that mean?
That's your in the URL.
Yeah, what is this? What is
Oh,
that?
that's the people that have plussed your site. That's a pretty good number. 6,000? Yeah, that's a good number.
Woo.
Yeah, that's very good.
See,
Now, is that your
see
Google
how-
Plus page?
See how obscure I am? I didn't know that. I mean, I know I had it out there and I put, because I have a, I post stuff from time to time, but not a lot.
Yeah, now check this out. You can, this is, what I did was for, this is my individual account.
And do you have two, one for your business and one for you?
Yeah, I do have a Google Plus page that, this blog, wadeharman.com, is about 3 months old. So, I don't have a lot of followers on it yet. But let me see if I can find it here. I think it's blog. That's not coming up.
I think because I have you in that circle, it's going to default.
Oh yeah, you don't have my Google Plus page circled. I think
I'm
that's.
on SMTULSA, I do, but not.
Either way, it don't have. There's nothing to be desired about 150 people, something like that. But you can set up your own Google Plus page. Now, Cheryl's got, her personal account, and then as you can see, there's her pages over on the left. And you can have as many as you want.
So I'm not just schizophrenic on Twitter. Equal opportunity schizophrenia.
I've got about 5 or 6. But what I recommend that you do right away, and this is what I wish I had done, is create your Google Plus page now. And don't, just let it sit. It's okay. Let it sit. Post your stuff. That's the place where you can post 100% your content all the time. So every time you write a blog post, go put it on Google Plus page. You don't have to promote it yet. This is a strategy. I use my individual account, a little over 11,000, not that much, to promote my Google Plus page because people like personalization. So work up for your single account, and then when you get ready, you have enough followers to introduce your Google Plus page. It's getting off track, but you can search Google badges online, search out Google badges, and it will take you to, it'll take you to the web developers, developers.google.com, I believe it is, and you can create your own personal badge for your website. You can check out wadeharman.com/blog, go to the blog part, and over in my sidebar, you'll see this hover card here. Except it'll be a little different, and it'll be prompting people to circle me. And it's got my Google Plus page on there, and a relationship marketing community on there. And I don't allow any links in my relationship marketing community. It's purely to find somebody that is in your niche and to make friends with them. And that has made people a ton of money. I invite everybody into that if you'd like. You're more than welcome to come. And does anybody have any questions? Any more questions? I know we've run a little long, I'm sorry.
We're good, this is